Well, hello, 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 hello. How many hellos was that? And welcome. Welcome to Joyful Mondays. Every Monday we come to you, and I am Joy Ruffin. And my work is as a leadership and signature style specialist. And every week we bring you a featured guest speaker. But this week, thank you for being here, whether it's now or for a replay, because we're going to talk about, and I wanted to end the month of January with a phenomenal and fantastic, and they always are, featured guest speaker. But unfortunately, life sometimes gets in the way, and he's on a flight that he couldn't get back here to be here. So it happens, but he'll be back at another time. I'm not going to even share name or information because when the time comes, you'll know. So in that, we were going to be talking about soul, soul power, because you've got it. I thought, well, I can take it from there because everything that we do is about the heart and soul connection. So what I'm going to do is give you a lot of tools and tips and food for thought and nuggets that you can use that will benefit you, because it isn't always about us, you, me, all of us, and we're all one. I think sometimes we forget that. So friends, if you're here, and if you are, delighted to have you here always, you're welcome, because we love good company. And most people like myself and most of us, we're super busy, involved, and we watch replays when we get a chance to. And I appreciate and I value that. Today, I want to talk to you about soul, and I want to connect it to the work that I do, which is leadership and signature style. As a signature style specialist, a professional speaker, executive producer, and TV host, podcaster, it's all connected. It's all aligned. And I'm willing to betcha that you too probably have several different things that you do. One major, two or three leading topics, but it all leads to one something. And I'm going to be sharing a lot of maybe somewhat scattered notes with you today because I haven't done solo. Well, I do it every now and then, quite a while. But I want to be talking with you about something that's important for all of us because you know this word pivot, it hit big time in 2023 and then 24, and here we are in 25. Can you believe we're almost at the end of 2025, the month of January? It's hard for me to believe. But one of the things that I want to share with you is that 2025 is calling for a much deeper connection to heart and soul, spirit and purpose, yours, mine, all of us. And I'll be using this a lot in the webinar that I have coming up for February the 11th. We'll stay and stick to style, signature style, and how you embed and embody that in you. But we're going to be talking a lot about cosmic change makers and the heart and soul connection and how that connects and relates to your style, the divineness of you, the divinity of you. That's a word that's often used, but it doesn't apply to men and women. It applies to those who are sacred, scarce, and honored in different ways. Well, that's you, and that's me. That core power. And one of the words, friends, that I would love for you to embrace, embody, and have it within you in every aspect of your DNA is balance. Because many times, most of us are looking and seeking truth, love, and beauty. And along with those three and many other words that connect to those, beauty, body, brains, however you classify or separate, goes that word balance. And when we talk about signature style and how you stamp it to you, the discovery of that for you, that's what we're talking about. Because we're in this world now, I think we've always been, but now it seems to be more prevalent. And it's generational of sameness. It's like you throw it up and out of the wallpaper, you kind of blend in. Well, we're not looking for those. No blame and no judgment. But this is a time for awakenings. And one of the things that I've done, being me, I've given myself a new title because labels and titles, they mean and they don't mean something. So here going forward, I am going to be the minister of enlightenment, awareness, and awakenings. Because the awakening is now. And it is about power, your power, internal power that shows up on the outside as external, but it emanates from within. Personal power. That power is coming through for all of us now. And we, you, me, all of us who are in the change maker category, we are able, and we are the pioneers. There's no doubt about that. And we are here to distinguish between, and it's a journey. Oh, is it a journey? It's been one for me. And there's so many awakenings between love and fear. Because authentic power is all about love. It's the new consciousness. It's that emotional awareness and that awakening in and at the highest realm of self first, the healing and the emotional security and intelligence of you. We, all of us, especially the pioneers and the change makers, we are stepping into that realm. And that involves, and you've heard me say often, most often, all the time, emotional healing, emotional security, emotional intelligence, emotional self, all of that. Well, it's that time. The other day, I took a peek because of my insatiable curiosity. And if you're here now or later, you have it too. And I was looking at the generations and the time span, usually for all the names that we have, it's like 15 to 20 years. And we have the silent generation. I love food for thought. My prayer is that you do as well. So even though I'm going to speak to these lightly, because I want you to, in your style, your flavor, flair, and flow, to find how it plays out for you and which of the generations you're in. Because even though we're going to start with the silent generation, many of them are what some would call ancient elders now, but many are still with us. And then there are the baby boomers, there's a Generation X, there are the millenniums, the Generation Z, the Gen Zs, and now we're going into the Generation Alpha. And what's the next one? Generation Beta, BETA, which starts this year, 2025. So you might say, well, who cares? These are expressions that I find endearing. Who cares? So what? What does it matter? No. But all of that matters if you are among the pioneers, the change makers, the healers today who are about not only your emotional awareness and growth and awakenings to be the inspiration and insight, awareness and example for others. So those expressions, even though they fit from time to time, we, you, me, those of us who are in that cycle of the pioneers and the change makers, we're not going to use those in that matter. Who cares? So what? Doesn't matter. Because it does matter. And friends, you've heard me say this from time to time. I say it because it's on my heart. You've heard that expression too? The heart. We are in the Insta society. Insta. Right away, quick. Most everyone, most, many, and some. Do I need to say never all? I don't, but I'm going to. We are, most of us, seeking that kind of miracle and that bit of magic and that something to kind of fill us up and get us going. And for many people, it's still all about the money. And it's all about the power in another realm, which is not to enlighten and inspire and ignite others. But here's what I want to not necessarily leave you with, but I want to give you this food for thought. It's an awareness and an awakening that's coming to me. I haven't fully received it yet, but it's coming. because you, me, all of us who are in that camp, we are the change makers. And the magic and the miracle when we begin, we're not talking perfect. We are talking about perfecting whatever your gift, your craft, and that skill and genius that you came here with is, but we're not talking about perfection. As my momsy would say, and you hear me use this all the time because momsy was a character. She used to be discussed at another time. She used to say, well, if they had a half a brain, well, there's a lot to that. But I say that to say that when we began to embrace our own sense of power at its highest realm, which is pure love and not being opinionated and judgmental, then we're there. And it is a journey. Because when we say change makers, and we're talking about change that's coming aware about today because of the awakening, we're talking about the individual, individuality, being individualistic, and that comes from that internal independence. It's a journey that leads you to the freedom of you. I have a friend who said it's for many of us who are about resetting. I always say reprogramming, reconditioning, and resexualizing how we have been programmed and conditioned and sexualized to think, because those days are over. They're gone. And so what we're here to do, you, me, all of us who are in that change maker category, no matter what label or title you give yourself or what others give you, it is to be about being however, and we don't appeal to everyone, no matter how great and phenomenal and fantastic we think we are. But we will reach out and ignite, enlighten, and have an awakening for those who are to be in your camp. And once we do that, we're on our way. We're on our way to our greatness, gift, and genius. And I do believe that. And friends, one of the things that I've often shared with you, I am repetitive, and I'll repeat it again, is my love for the library. And even though this might seem scattered, there's an underlying alignment here. The library, because as a young, very, very troubled young lady, I had my deepest awakening in the library. It sparked and ignited something in me because I've always been, not as much so today for all the different variable reasons, no excuses, just reality, a voracious reader. Still, but not as much as I would like to be and will be again at some point in time. And there's so many books and movies that most of us hold dear and close to our hearts. And for some reason, as I'm beginning to prepare to come and share with you today, I have these three that came to me, and I want to share them with you today. I think I've shared different ones at different times. I'm only going to share these three, and then I want to talk a wee bit about why. But before we do that, because it is me in a solo show today, and there's so much excitement in the air for you and for me, we have a webinar coming up. Before we do that, I want to take a quick little reset, and I want to introduce you to a group that you belong to and a few other things that are about for you and you only. If you are not a member of my Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies, I like to say our Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies, then please come and join us. We need you. We need you because your vision, your mission, and your purpose, it matters. And you know that it matters. We want to value, celebrate, commend, and acknowledge you and your divine feminine essence that you bring to the group. And bear in mind, friends, when I say divine masculine, divine feminine, and I'm working exclusively with divine femininity, bear in mind we have them both. And our job, remember that word I started off with, balance? It is to learn to balance them and not to blame. And one of the women that I love and adore, Gloria Steinem, she doesn't know it. She would know me if I bumped into her and fell over in the streets. But as a young teeny girl, I remember her movement for divine femininity. And it was the seed beginning. And so we're going to take it a seed further because too many of us went over to the dark side and attempted to do the leadership and divine femininity the way that men have always done it. And that's not the way. And the other thing that we have for you is a quiz. It's a color quiz, which I offer to you every time we come. And this quiz is the beginning seeds. And if you're not familiar with color, color is power. And especially when you know how to use it and you align with the colors that fit you. Most everyone, if you're considered this, that, or the other, you can get away with a lot of different colors. But once you begin to assemble your color wardrobe and segment it out where you can mix and match and tap dance around the different ranges and shades and tints of colors that are in your color paradigm, then you're doing well. And that's what we want you to do. And the other thing to mention to you is a webinar. Well, it's almost here. I can't believe it. February the 11th, it will be. And it'll be on a Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to talk a lot about power because this is a word that I'm absolutely satiated with in the best way. Because power is 99%, and I'm not negative percent of the time, it's misused. Power is not for you when it's given to us. It's given to share. It's not for us to embed and embody in us and then penalize others. Because remember, we're all one and there is no judgment. There is another quiz that I have for you that we were attempting to get together, and it's called Style with Me. And this is a great, great little quiz. We're making some tweaks here, but this is for you because, you know, honesty is important. That's where we're going to go to next. But I want you to take a screenshot or snapshot. Even though this video is going to be flying here and about, dancing here and about everywhere, I want you to take a screenshot or a snapshot and download this quiz because it's the beginning seeds of your honesty with you. And that's where we all have to begin. And be honest about it. Because this anti-aging factor, I am a happy senior. I'm happy to rise each and every morning. And I don't blame or knock anti-aging. But too many are, because the anti-aging advertising campaign is so vast, are not accepting and embracing it in the way that we need to as we age. Because once you really get to know, aging is inevitable. It happens to everyone. But you get to know who you are and what you are and how you go about and how to show up and own a room and dress to your styles. You don't mind the aging process because it's inevitable. Back to Momsy, as Momsy would say, brain, it happens. Make the best of it. You can still be regal and respected and all of that other stuff because you know how to dress that temple, that vessel that's yours. And now, enough of that preaching, right? I don't preach, but I do share. I mentioned the library, and I like to wind up with this because they're one of the first books that made an indelible impression on me as a young girl. I think I was 13 or 14 years old, was Alexandria, I think his name, I know his name was Alexandre Dumas. It was French, so it was pronounced Dumas without the S. I always say Dumas. But The Three Musketeers. If you haven't read that book, I don't care if you're 99, then and plus they made zillions of movies, at least 4 that I'm aware of. But that movie, the camaraderie, yeah, it was full of political stuff. And maybe that's why it came to me, because we're deep in this political kind of arena right now. But it came to me because of that one, there were many of them. But this one quote, even as a young girl, when I didn't even understand or get it, it came to me, all for one and one for all. When we talk about power and we talk about emotional healing and emotional intelligence and security and all of that, confidence, there is no power that's genuine, real, authentic, and true unless it stems from that all for one and one for all. And then the next one, I think I was, it's not important the age, is it really, guys? Not really. I don't do numbers, and maybe that's why I'm in the pickle that I'm in right now, but Shakespeare, As You Like It. And I had to memorize this. It took me quite a while because most of you have heard me say there are kind of a lot of learning disabilities here. But As You Like It, when I had to memorize this to be a part of the play in the English class that I was in, which was never my strong suit, but I loved it. But because of all of this stuff that I dealt with and didn't find out until much later, I kind of hid. And I'm really not a hider. But as you like it, this is a part and the poem or the content in the play that registered with my soul. Because I say it in love, not from the stage and the entertainment industry and the red carpet that it stems from most today. It goes, all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances. And one man in his lifetime plays many, many parts. Now, why do you think that resonated with me so much? Because it did. It did. Because as a young girl, and I don't mind being alone, but some people just dread it. But many young girls today, especially, want to be actresses. And so did I. Now, that went away very quickly, but that's where it started. So when I was reading that in the school play, it just registered. And all the men and women merely players, because the world's a stage. Can't you chuckle with that? Today, because you hear me say this too, this programming, conditioning, and the sexualizing that most women, the majority of women, were raised up with, and so many have stepped away from it, and many have embraced, understood. But the reality is, it's our time now as change makers to move away. And my big three has always been the fashion and style industry, the entertainment industry, and the communications industry. And because they influence so many of us, the seed today that I hope I'm sharing with you is that the programming, conditioning, and the sexualizing, especially in the entertainment and the fashion industry, not intentionally, it's time to segue away from much of what's out here and learn the truth and get to the truth of who we are. And that leads me to another. And not too long ago, I don't remember when, friends, Mark Twain was the third one that came to me today when I wanted to come to you to share. I don't remember which of his books was banned or what they wanted to pull out of the library. And I'm not going to go there, because what attracted me back in the day and today has more meaning and impact than it did then was this quote that was in one of his books. And because of my love for food for thought, and you check it out and go and do your own research, was when Mark Twain said, and even then I knew this to be true, truth is stranger than fiction. Isn't that a lot to take in? Because when I look and think about the entertainment and the fashion and the communications industry, no blame. I feel and I think, and my heart tells me I know the reasons why, but a lot of it, of the three, it's become warped and wonky, wacky in how they project and present. And they, because of this sensitivity, have condoned and forgiven so much that's not in the right order. And that's not because I'm old school, old fashioned back in the day. It's for a lot of different reasons. And I understand those reasons, but I don't buy into them because I don't really think that they speak to the truth, love, and beauty that's within all of us. And when it comes to the foul language that you hear and the four-letter words, all one and the same, and the nudity and the rawness and the bare and we don't need that. When we talk about the soul and style and showing up as your best self, there's no need for that. Yes, our bodies are beautiful. This vessel, this temple, this absolute beauty of the genius of how it was all created, I don't think any of us truly, really have a definitive knowing about when, where, and how, but we know that we're here and we're going to make the best of what we have to offer. And I don't think it's shallow to be in the fashion business or even in entertainment, no matter what realm you're in, and to have a strong sense of your presence, your appearance and your image and who you are, and show up as your best self. That you're not in the sameness and fading into the background, into the wallpaper. Your gift, genius, and greatness does not want that. It wants you to sparkle, to shine. Show up as your best self. And nudity and rawness and unrefined and unfinished, we don't need that. It doesn't compute. There's nothing wrong with the entertainment industry or the red carpet or the Lifetime Achievement Awards and all of that, if you feel that that's what you want and that's the circle that you want to be in. Go. They need you. And then all of you who are raising children, give them a solid foundation. Give them something that will give them the strength and the love that they need. Not only the hygiene, the grooming, and the etiquette, give them the sense of value and truth, love, and honesty, that integrity that they come here with. Because when you do that, they will be more cognizant about appearance, image, and their presence. Today, a lot of people, I speak to a lot of, and I listen. More importantly, I listen to a lot of young people because I love young people. And I'm one of the blessed, happy seniors because I remember what it was to be young. And as much as there's a know-it-all kind of thing there's also that, ooh, I'm not sure, I don't know. There's a lot of that too. And if you're honest with yourself, you sense that, you feel that, you know that. And many of them are totally lost in their brilliance because technology brings a lot of awareness right to the fore in the Insta society right away. But something is lacking. And as moms would say, you know it, I know it, we all know it. I see it, I feel it, you see it. So the assignment is to find out what that is and be more of a guiding light for them. And for many of us seniors, we need it too. But be the love, the truth, and the beauty of you in the best way for those who are going to be attracted to you. That's all you can be. I'm going to ask my engineer to put up, because time flies here, one more time, and she'll do it at the end too, but my webinar, because I want you to take a screenshot or a snapshot of this poster. Take a screenshot and make sure to go and register. And if you know of someone who wants more insight and more awareness about, because everybody has style, but find the style that fits and works for you best. Don't forget about trends. Don't forget about pretty, beautiful, trendy, fashionable. No, but find out what works for you. Because what works for you is not going to be for Jane and Jill and Betty over there. So what works for you? That's all you need to know. In the meantime, it's over. Oh my goodness. I can go on and on. But you know what? As much as I do this, boom, 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 I listen. So I can't wait to see you. How about Wednesday? I have a great lady who's coming on who's going to share with you a lot about websites. Never ending. Never ending. How many times have I tweaked mine? But make sure that you have a great week. Make it one of the best ones ever. I say that every week. And I'm sending you, as I always do, much, much love from my heart to yours. Cheers.